You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is November 7th, 2022 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety to order this 7th day of November 2022. Present are Mayor Dwayne Perry, Mr. Michael Vincent, myself, Virginia Keating. We have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular hybrid meeting of October 17, 2022, and the special hybrid meeting of October 24th, 2022. Are there any corrections?
None here, Madam Chair. Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a professional service agreement contract between the City of Michigan City and LaPorte Hospital Occupational Health Services, LLC, for the Employee Health and Wellness Center effective December 1st, 2022. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and board members and mayor. My name is Jim Meyer. I'm an attorney, and I'm standing in for Amber this morning on this matter. All of you approved last year, if you were on the board, the contract, the same contract basically. The only change this year is the first year they gave the city a 10% discount because it was the first year. And then there are some numbers that Mr. Meny from General Insurance will be able to tell you about. But fundamentally, it was a success. The primary care costs were higher because of the pandemic, of course. But as far as their relationship, as you may recall, the city required the I guess called Northwest or LaPorte Health to contract with the HealthLink, which is a federally qualified health center, which has access to what's called the 340B drug program, which allows it to purchase or sell drugs at a substantially lower cost than a regular pharmacy like CVS or Walgreens. So the city incurred a substantial savings as a result of that. Craig will tell you what those were. Those are anticipated because the MOU between HealthLink and LaPorte, is renewed, so it'll be good for the next year, as well as the contract with the city. And I'll answer any questions, but literally the contract is the same other than the change I just mentioned. Excuse me, the city will not have the benefit of that 10% first year reduction.
Thank you. Did you want to address us?
Yeah, good morning. Craig Meny, President of General Insurance Services. And as Jim had mentioned, so he'd asked us to perform a contract analysis to say, how did the contract perform relative to expectations and what does it look like on a forward-looking basis? So we did that, and I'm not sure, was this comparison in your packet is familiar to anyone? If not, I brought copies to hand out. Would be happy to do so in either instance. So the contract last year was entered into December 1st, which gave the employees and their covered dependents free access to primary care services through Northwest Health. And then, as Jim had mentioned, there's a certain number of medications that can also be provided free of charge. Some of those are given on site at the clinic, some are done through HealthLink. And so the contract analysis we performed here is through September. And so what we did is just took the actual costs of what the city spent for the near site access. Obviously, from a HIPAA perspective, we're keeping this just aggregated at a very high level, of course. And so the expenditure was just under $200,000, which included office visits, labs, x-rays, EKG, pulmonary tests, and then the previously mentioned cabinet medications. So all of those over the course of, so it would have been December through September, was just under $200,000. We then did an analysis to say, well, what would that have cost the plan if we didn't have a clinic? And that was roughly $75,000. So you'll see $75,681.06. And so the clinic itself was approximately $124,258 more expensive. However, through funneling certain of those medications through HealthLink, we actually saved $161,000. So it's a good move financially for the city. We ended up saving just over almost $37,000 by partnering with Northwest Health, HealthLink, and offering free care to the plan participants. So certainly the contract performed well. Again, that's a $36,000 savings back to the city. We didn't estimate, there's roughly 55 visits per month. And so depending upon your plan design, there's also a savings that went directly to the plan participants. Because had they gone to another setting, they would have had to pay copay, deductible. Here you provided access that was free of charge to them and their family. So there's some additional savings that's not reflected here. We're simply the consultant to the city from a health benefits perspective. And so that's the analysis that's contemplated here. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. We then did a forward-looking projection based upon the loss of the discount that Jim had mentioned previously. So yeah, again, hopefully fairly straightforward. The loss of that discount, simply put, is factored on the right-hand side. So we assumed the same utilization. And the truth is these near-site clinics take a little time to get going, right? Educating folks, getting folks comfortable, right? Using a new provider setting. So these, I would say, are conservative estimates. These are good projections for what the city should expect to save. Long story short, the loss of that discount is going to be about $21,082.50 more next year. But if we still have the same utilization, we're still going to save almost $19,000. So our recommendation certainly would be to continue with the contract, even with the loss of the discount, to renew. I mean, to take that benefit away from the employees just professionally doesn't make that much sense, because the city would be spending more money and those individuals would have more money coming out of their pockets as well. So is there any other? Yep.
Does the board have any questions?
Go ahead, Michael.
I have a question. More visits per member is better for the city in lieu of them going to, say, emergency room or somewhere else?
Absolutely. Yes. Categorically, because you're already paying the subscription fee. So the costs, the fixed cost here that we're talking about, you're spending either way. So yes, the more people use it, you save money on every single visit.
Okay, so it's an education opportunity for us,
right?
For our people to
right.
use this program.
Yeah. And again, roughly 55 visits per month is a strong initial showing. Our experience so we've been doing this for 12 years in other communities. It just takes, right? It takes time to communicate and get comfortable. But yeah, it's a beautiful facility, and yeah, kind of getting the word out is the trick on an ongoing basis. But,
very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Is there any public comment? Hearing none.
I have one thing to say that you answered the question that I had about the usage. I've gotten a lot of thanks from Michigan City employees for putting this in place. I considered 55 visits a month is not a real good initial showing, but I know nothing about it. And when you said from your experience that that's good initially and historically it'll ramp up, I believe that from the feedback I've gotten. So as long as we're not losing money, we're doing right by the employees. So I would ask that the board consider approving this.
Okay. Is that a motion to approve?
Sure. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, then I'll call for the Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you both for appearing. Next item on the agenda is a request for signage. Dolly Vincent, 9565 West Paz Road, is requesting a deer crossing sign to be placed on Cleveland Avenue between US 20 and 400 North.
Good morning. I'm Dolly Vincent. And
would you give your address, please?
9565 West Paz Road here in Michigan City.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I am asking for a sign on Cleveland Road between US 20 and 400 because there's so many deer that I'm asking for a sign that says something about deer crossing or deer. Since I live right there on the corner, we use that street quite a bit, and many people do. I've seen lots of deer laying on the side of the road. my husband and I, the 1st of August, we had an encounter with a deer that cost my insurance company over $10,000 and us like 2 months of not having a vehicle. But I see it quite a bit, and I'm just afraid that sometimes the people speed down Cleveland because there's no bumps. I mean, you know, road things to make them slow down. And I'm just afraid somebody could, you know, get killed. And all we need on each side is like deer crossing, just a sign so that people may slow down and know that the deer cross quite a bit. So I'm just asking the city for a sign so no one would get hurt.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
That's it. Yeah, thank you very much. Are there any comments from the public? Board comments?
Ms. Vincent, I've seen your property. I know where you're at. So you've got a beautiful, well-maintained residence. Thank you for that. I think this is a good thing that there's so much deer traffic in this area.
Yeah.
I wish I don't see Captain Laniski here. I saw him in the lobby earlier, so maybe he'll be joining us.
Let me explain. Captain Laniski was in an accident and has injured his back and has gone to the hospital. And he stopped by before the meeting and told us that he had taken a look at the area. He pulled the accident stats, found there were 8 accidents concerning deer in that area. And his recommendation is that we approve.
Good.
So if I have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is an opening of bids. Bids received for the sale of city property. That's Grant Street, parcel number 46-01-29-351-003- or 0.000-2. I'm sorry, -022. Too many numbers for me this morning. Are there any bids received?
We received one bid. We received one bid. You open it or do I?
Go ahead. You can open it. Go
Okay.
ahead. You can pass it on to me.
All right. This bid is from Carrie McGinty herself. And Miss McGinty is offering the amount of $2,400.
Is there anyone else here wishing to render a bid? The bids are closed. I think we just take this under advisement. Do you want to do that, or do you want to vote on this right now? It's up to the board.
I think we should probably, are there any disclaimers or qualifications in that? Does it appear to be?
It's a bid form that was tendered to Carrie McGinty by the city.
Oh, well, then there should be, no, I think we can make a motion by opinion.
Yeah, I'd make a motion. We approve.
Support.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is for informational purposes only. Chief Stephen Forker, Michigan City Police Department, is announcing the retirement of Officer Dion Campbell with over 23 years on the department effective October 21st, 2022. I'm sure the board joins me in wishing Officer Campbell good luck and thank you for his service. Next item on the agenda is a request for signage. Dion Bergeron, 1018 Providence Street, is requesting a reduced speed limit sign or a speed bump striping to be placed on Providence Street as cars drive in the excess of 60 miles an hour.
Good morning. Dion Bergeron, 1018 Providence Street. We've had the temporary sign out there that tracks the speed and puts it on the thing. Since that went up, people slowed way down. They moved it for a couple of days. People started flying down there again. We've had several automobiles hit by drivers with excess speed. There are no speed limit signs on either Providence Street or Salem Street, which is a street right next to it. I believe that people coming from Salem Court Apartments are using that as a kind of throughway to get to Carroll, and they just zip through there. So I was talking about, first, we need speed limit signs up, but some other alternative if that doesn't work, so such as the rumble strips they have on Walker Street or speed bump, something. That's my
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Captain Lineski stopped by before he went to the hospital and informed us that his suggestion is a 20-mile-per-hour speed limit sign be placed out there. He said it's too late to install the speed bumps at this time, but he thought that we should just go ahead right now and install the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit
Thank you.
signs. Okay. Are there any public comments? Thank you. Are there any public comments? Any board comments?
None here, Madam Chair.
Then do I have a motion for the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit signs to be installed?
I'll make a motion for 20-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on Providence.
Support.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a vehicle lease request. Cranston Harris, Superintendent of Central Maintenance, is requesting to lease a 2022 Dodge Ram 1500 truck from LaPorte Chrysler for a 3-year term in the amount of $539.87 per month for a total of $30,413.17 for the 3-year term. Is there anyone here wishes to address this? Board want to make any statements or comments in the absence of?
Madam Chair, I will. I have looked at Mr. Harris's vehicle. It gets him where he needs to be, but it's also in terms of a utility vehicle where he may have to tow something or do something of that matter, that it's in need of replacement.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Support.
And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a request for uniform change. Chief Doug Legault, Michigan City Fire Department, is requesting permission to allow firefighters to wear the November promotional shirts, Movember shirts, from November 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2022, as part of their uniform promoting men's health. Chief.
Doug Legault, Michigan City Fire Chief. Good morning, President, council members, or board members. Yeah, this is our annual men's health awareness shirt that we like to have the firefighters wear during the month of November. We call it Movember because we do a kind of a mustache competition where if you don't grow a mustache, you can grow one that month, and they see who has the best mustache at the end of the month. So if you have one, you can shave it off and regrow it. So it's just a promotional thing for men's health. So thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment? Board comment?
Chief, can you give us, you have to come back to the mic, just, can you give some idea what the shirt looks like? Is there an emblem on it?
Yeah, it's a big, every year we usually use a big mustache
Okay.
related picture. Did we send
I
a,
just
okay.
saw it. I missed
All
it.
right, I forgot to bring it with me, sorry.
Thank you.
Any other board questions or comments?
No, Chief, your mustache is lacking.
You notice that.
I make a motion, we approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry,
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is a request to hang banners. Shannon Eason, Assistant Park Superintendent, is requesting on behalf of the Barker Welfare Foundation the placement of 22 banners throughout the downtown art district to be installed by Marcus Electric. Good morning.
Morning, board. Shannon Easton, Assistant Park Superintendent. I spoke with Barker Mansion back in the summer, and they put in a request to put 22 banners on our street poles downtown. I believe 10 of those are holiday banners. They do holiday programming in the month of December. They are still under construction, but they'll have limited hours. The other banners would be permanent, and Marcus Electric would be installing those. I'd just like to remind this board that they have been a very strong community partner. In 2022, they donated $45,000 towards the bandstand preservation project. which will begin construction this spring. And they also donated $45,000 to the big cat exhibit at the zoo. There are banners that are going to have to be moved. I think about a dozen of those are the Uptown Arts District, and then there's 4 that are actually artist banners. But Marcus has agreed to move those to the nearest open poles. So it's kind of a win-win. It fills up our empty poles and also advertises one of our city's greatest assets.
Thank you.
And there will be no cost to the city.
Thank you. When will these be installed?
As soon as the foundation has them.
After lunch.
As soon as the foundation has them ready, then we would get with Shannon and see where she wants to move the banners that are currently there and move them to the appropriate locations.
Thank you.
And I submitted pictures of the banners. They're high quality art.
Thank you. I understand we have Tommy here wants to make a comment.
Yeah, Tommy Klobuck, 1316 Ohio Street. Honestly, I think this is kind of a bad idea. This really isn't the time of year to be hanging banners up on the street poles around the city with all the high winds and the weather we're about to get. We had the same issue with our Michigan City High School. We used to put our senior banners up along Franklin Street for all of our seasons for our senior athletes and other activities. We ended up having to quit doing that. We put them at Ames Field during the football season. We hang them in the gym during basketball season, all the other seasons. So I really think maybe this ought to be held off till springtime. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Any board comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Madam President, we do need insurance from Marcus Electric.
Marcus Electric needs to give us insurance.
We should have that.
Yeah, they should have it on file.
Andy Ski at Marquis Electric. We should have all that on file with the city, but I can ask General to resend it, but I'm sure it's on file. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Madam Chair, if I may, on the subject of banners, I've got something that I will bring to the board in the future. Last week, I was in French Lick, Indiana for a mayor's summit. And on the way back, I going through a small Indiana town, they had banners celebrating all of their local veterans. And that each banner had the picture of a different veteran. So I think that's something that we should consider in the future.
Certainly,
Good
certainly.
thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Something to bear in mind. Next item on the agenda is a request to solicit bids, approval of a lease. Chief Doug Legault, Michigan City Fire Department, is requesting to solicit bids to lease a 2023 brush truck.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Doug Legault, Michigan City Fire. This is just a request to accept bids for a brush truck that I approached the mayor and the council. It was all approved in our 2022 budget. The reason we're here so late in the year is the manufacturers like Ford, Chevy, Dodge, actually Ford specifically said this is the chassis that we chose on our spec sheet is a Ford chassis. They would not give a price to the manufacturer because they weren't taking orders until October. So I had to wait until October, middle of October, they actually told us was the information that I got. So we prefer to get here a lot sooner, but with that item not being able to price out, the manufacturer wouldn't be able to give us a bid. So that's why I just want to explain why we're here so late in the year.
Certainly. Explain what the usage will be on this.
This is it's kind of going to replace, we don't really have a brush truck. We have a F-350 that was our plow truck that years ago we threw a skid unit, they call it, in the back of it that basically holds 50 gallons of water and has a pump on it. That's what we've been using as a brush truck. So this was an improvement that I saw when I came into office that we needed to get something a little more adequate for our department and for the square miles that we cover. The new brush truck would have 300 gallons of water on it. It's a bigger chassis, bigger tires. Our ultimate goal is to get this thing to go on the sand. Now, I can't give you 100% chance that we're going to make that happen, but we're going to try. It's just going to be a much more useful piece of equipment for the fire department.
When will the bids be returned?
With the help of Amber LePage, got everything worked out to where December, I think this December meeting, she said, we will have that, the opening of the bids or the final time for the bids to come in.
Thank you.
So
Is
we
there any,
should be able to get it done before the first of the year is our goal.
okay. Is there any comment from the board?
Just a question, Chief.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it, I assume it's going to be 4-wheel drive,
Yes,
ATV type?
yep. It's a F-550.
Off-road.
It has a suspension, a factory suspension lift. That was the other reason we went with Ford. They will do a single wheel conversion factory lift, I think, and all under warranty, I believe.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Is there any comment from the public? Do you have any comment? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid packet.
So moved.
thank you.
Support?
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for street closure. Justin Post, Michigan City Main Street Association is requesting a street closure at 7th Street from Pine to Washington Street and Franklin from 6th to 8th Street for the annual Shelf Ice Brew Fest on Thursday, February 23rd, 2023 from 8 a.m. till Sunday, February 26th, 2023 at 12 p.m. Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi, yeah, thank you. To be clear, the Thursday closure is for the 7th Street only, not Franklin Street. 7th Street is not highly trafficked, so we usually try to close that early
Okay.
so that we can get things set
Okay.
up before.
All right. Go ahead and identify yourself, Justin.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Justin Post, Michigan City Main Street Association.
Thank you.
And I am asking again for the Shelf Ice Brew Fest street closure.
Okay.
I feel like everybody knows about that. It happens
We've done this
downtown.
before.
Yeah, we've been here a few times.
couple
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
Okay. Any public comment? Any board comments?
I just like to say welcome back. We're glad you're doing it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're excited to do it again.
I do have a comment and question, Madam Chair.
Certainly.
Forgive me if I have the wrong association, but I remember there being a street closure and a festival downtown that did not clean up well after the festival was over.
And that has been, and especially in 2022, when we did do it, we had a lot more vendors bringing packaged alcohol instead of the kegs that we asked them to bring. So that will definitely be addressed this year, and we shouldn't have any problem with that again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more now. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. That brought back a memory. At last year's event, please be cautious about the church that's a block away.
And I
Because
did,
people
through the
did park
grapevine,
there.
I did see
Yeah,
the letter
they
that,
were
yeah.
very nice about it, but they were very upset.
Yeah, and they've always been very nice, and
Yeah,
that
they've
we,
been very cooperative and supportive.
yeah, and we try to be good neighbors because that is the place of activation for the community downtown. And yes, last year, like I said, a lot more vendors brought package, like so bottles and cans than they would have brought kegs, and we just weren't prepared for the amount that was there. And then when sanitation came in, actually cleaned up, then there was still a lot left. And so this year we'll take care of that completely, make sure that we have the volunteers afterwards to clean that all up and make it nice and tidy.
Great. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support?
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
Next item on the, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the update to job descriptions. Todd Tanisha George, Human Resources Director, is requesting to update the following job descriptions: Special Events Director, Assistant Controller / Grant Administrator, Second Assistant Controller / Office Manager, and Assistant Transit Director. Good morning.
Good morning, board.
Why don't you come up to the front here? I don't know that mic works well.
Good morning, board. Todd Tanisha George, Human Resources Director, City of Michigan City. I have presented to you updates to 4 job descriptions for our city employees. They include the Assistant Controller, the Grant Administrator / Grant Administrator, and the Second Assistant Controller / Office Manager. And both of those positions are in the Controller's office. The third is the Assistant Transit Director, which is located in the Transit Department. And the fourth is the Special Events Director, which is located in the Mayor's office. The first and easiest to explain would probably be the Special Events Director. That is currently located in the Mayor's office. And that job description basically needed cleanup. It in our booklet, or I'm sorry, in our files, it was Special Events Director / Recreation Director. So some of that language needed to be cleaned up. It was originally assigned to the Park Department. That had to be cleaned up because this position is currently in the mayor's budget. So it was me going and cleaning up some of the language, removing the recreation coordinator references and placing the job description in the proper department based on where his budget is currently at. The second position was the Assistant Transit Director. Currently there isn't an Assistant Transit Director. There's a person that as of January 1st will be doing the duties of Assistant Transit Director. And that is something that has been budgeted for transit in 2023. So that position had to be more or less recreated. The third position is the Second Assistant Controller / Office Manager. That person will be doing duties that were formerly attributed to the Assistant Controller Grant Administrator. The Assistant Controller Grant Administrator will begin doing duties of a grant person. I know that some time ago, we tried to get a position for grant administrator for the city of Michigan City, but we were unable to do so. So our Assistant Controller has been more or less doing those duties. And so what we did was, or what we looked at doing was just making her a grant administrator, and some of the duties that she was doing, office management, some ledger work, journaling, things like that, was moved to the Second Assistant Controller. So it was just basically a reshuffling of duties. For the Assistant Controller Grant Administrator, the Assistant Controller Office Manager, and the Assistant Transit Director, all three of those positions, those changes will take effect January 1st, 2023. The changes for the Special Events Director will be effective as of today if you decide to approve it.
Okay, let me go over this with you, make sure that I understand. As to the Special Events Director, you're just cleaning up his job description.
Yes, ma'am.
As to the Assistant Controller Grant Administrator and the Second Assistant Controller Office Manager, these are existing positions, but you're reshuffling the duties between the two.
Correct.
Lastly, the Assistant Transit Director appears to be a new position that you're creating.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Is there any public comment? Is there any board comment?
Madam Chair, I've been involved in the discussion on all of these positions. And as Michigan City grows, our government grows, we become more sophisticated. All of these changes are really necessary for us to provide the services that the public deserves.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Okay.
Support.
Then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now. Next item on the agenda is a request for street closure. Steve Stanford, Michigan City Sanitary District, is requesting to close the eastbound lane of East 8th Street, northeast of Michigan Boulevard from 11/14 through 11/16, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for repairs. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Steve Stanford, Operations Manager for the Michigan City Sanitary District. This temporary partial closure is for maintenance and inspection of our sewer system.
Is there any detouring or anything like that required?
I don't believe it's necessary.
Okay, all right. All right. Is there any public comment? Board comments?
None here, Madam Chair.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Now call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye now. And the next item on the agenda is a formal public hearing, a demolition hearing for 442 Hayes Street. Would anyone appearing in this matter please step forward? I'm going to call this hearing to order. Today's date is November 7th, 2022. We are here today in the matter of an order to demolish filed by the City of Michigan City Planning and Zoning Department. Present is Christine Vanderberg, representing the Michigan City Planning and Zoning Department. The property owner, whose name of record is Terrence Collins, does not appear. I will now explain the hearing procedure that will follow today. And just briefly, we're going to be taking testimony from the petitioner, and that's the City of Michigan City Planning and Zoning. We would have, under normal circumstances, allowed the respondent, Terrence Collins, to present his case. His absence makes that impossible. So we're just going to go ahead and have the city present their evidence. Okay.
Thank you, Christine.
Please state your name when you're ready.
No problem. Sorry, there's a lot of work involved with this. Good morning, board. Christine Vanderborg, City of Michigan City Inspection Department, Code Enforcement Officer.
I need to swear you in.
Oh, sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. So the address of the property pending for demolition is 442 Hayes Avenue. Persons that I've, in your packet there, I have submitted notification via certified letter and regular US mail. And that would be in your packet as well. And do you want me to state the people I submitted to as far as gave notice to?
Please do.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, Terrence Collins of 442 Hayes, certified letter. Terrence Collins of 211 John Street, Lowport, Indiana, certified letter. CSMC Incorporated DBA Direct Mortgage Funding, 236 North Santa Cruz Avenue, 103 Los Gatos, California, 95030. That was submitted certified letter. CSMC 2801 Townsgate Road, Suite 101, Westlake Village, California, 91361, certified letter. Wilmington Trust National Association, 1100 North Market Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19890, certified letter. Rights of Alex, HLLC, PO Box 919, Wabash, Indiana, certified letter. Along with the certified letters, they all received a regular US letter. I do have multiple letters that have been returned. Grab that for you. Looks like Rights of Alex, they had signed off on a certified letter. I've got the green card back. Solid Waste Department of LaPorte County received their green card back. Wilmington Trust National Association, I received their green card back. CSMC received their green card back. Terrence Hayes for 211 John Street, that was returned. Terrence Collins, 442 Hayes, that was returned to center, vacant. Terrence Collins, certified 442 Hayes, vacant. And CSMC Incorporated DBA Direct Mortgage Funding, certified return to sender, unclaimed, unable to forward. As far as publication goes, notice of hearing on order to demolish unsafe building was published October 14th, 2022, Lepore County Herald Dispatch. The affidavit of publication is included with the packet. And then we're gonna ask, we're actually gonna ask you to, I'm gonna give you the evidence for the packet, for certified mail and everything else like that. And I'll present that evidence to you as well. So, and it's an affidavit affirming order. I apologize, first time up here with the demolitions, a little involved. So this is the affidavit of service pursuant to Unsafe Building Act and determination by Board of Public Works and issues, and it states of everyone that's been certified letter and the return of letters and US mail. And this is going to be signed by the Board of Works president. Okay, in your packet, you will also see photographs of the said property, 442 Hayes Street. The front porch is dilapidated. The roof is actually caved in on a property. The property's been vacant for more than 5 years because I've been on the force for the last 5 years. No one's lived there. I also have an aerial view of the property with the roof collapsed. And this is why the building needs to be demolished. It is an eyesore. It is a detriment to the neighborhood. It is an unsafe building. Children could possibly get in. Someone could start a fire. So that's where we're at with that. As far as notifications, there have been numerous notifications with this property, and there's a history of the notifications, photos taken, dates of and times of when these were taken. The last order to repair was issued on February 8th of 2022. The order to demolish was issued on September 20th, 2022. As far as my history, 7/19 of 2016, we took photo documentations of the house being vacant. 9/16, vacant property registration was sent to Wilmington Trust National Association. 8/17, vacant property registration sent to EMC Mortgage Company. 11/17, email correspondence sent to the mortgage servicer Chase, received correspondence that Chase does not own or service this property. 2/18, repair order sent to deeded owner Terrence Collins. 2/8/22, order repair sent to deeded owner Terrence Collins. 8/11/22, that's when we sent the order to demolish, sent to all interested parties. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. The conclusion of it, the relief I'm seeking here is affirm the order of the demolition of this property. Like I said, numerous reasons. We have windows out, floors, ceilings. It's vacant. No one's responding. No one's taking care of it. Our vector control has been cutting grass there. There's numerous notifications. So I'm seeking an order to affirm the demolition of 442 Hayes.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that the board has received a packet of evidence, including copies of notice of hearing, copies of the photographs showing the disrepair of the property. At this time, then, I'd ask whether the board is ready to render a decision. And if they are ready to render a decision, I'd ask for a motion to affirm, modify, or to deny the order to demolish.
If I may, Madam Chair, I have just a few questions before we go that far. I find this kind of a situation very aggravating. We have too many properties. We have too many properties like this in Michigan City. Looking through this package, is Mr. Collins the current owner?
Current deeded owner. There is also someone who bought the tax lien on a property.
Yeah, Alex H. of Wabash, Indiana, and I see Lou Loomis purchased the lien. So do we
Blue
have,
Loomis is for the other one, I believe. It's property of Alex.
oh, at Richland, okay.
Yeah,
Do
rights
we-
of Alex HLLC.
Do we have a way that you know of to recoup our costs for demolition from these people?
There'll be a lien put on the property.
There's a lien.
Yeah, it's always a lien.
Good, good. That's it for me. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to move forward with demolition.
Support.
You're affirming the order of demolition, is that correct?
That's correct.
Support.
Okay, then I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is going to be another formal public hearing, a demolition hearing for the property at 614 Ridgeland Avenue. My understanding is that the owner of record is Louis Bellarmine. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Today's date is November 7, 2022. We are here in the matter of the order to demolish filed by the Michigan City Planning and Zoning Department. Present is Christine Vanderberg, representing the Michigan City Planning and Zoning Department. Louis Delarme fails to appear. I will once again just explain that we're going to take testimony in the absence of Mr. Delarme. We're going to take testimony from the city of Michigan City regarding this matter. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. This is for 614 Ridgeland Avenue. Apologize. So all the persons that we gave notice for this hearing for the record would be Louis Delarmond, 11247 Southeast 258th Place, number D104, Kent, Washington. He received a certified letter and regular U.S. Postal Service letter. Lou Loomis LLC, care of Jeffrey Hipposar, Tax Lien Servicing LLC, 5315 North Clark Street, Suite 308, Chicago, Illinois, 60640, certified letter. Solid Waste District of LaPorte County, 2857 West State Road 2, LaPorte, Indiana, 46350. All parties involved who have an interest were served a certified letter, and they were also served with a regular U.S. mail. And I do have all the returned certified letters as well. And that's the affidavit for the Board of Works. Let me get you the certified letters. So Solid Waste District of LaPorte County, I received their green tag back. Lou Loomis LLC, care of Jeffrey Pisbar, I received that back 9/12/22. And Louis Delarmond, the certified mail came back to me, but his regular US letter did not return. So everybody received it and I haven't had any return. So he received one letter, but not any return to certified. So he never answered to the certified. You'll in your packet, you have pictures of the property. At one point, there was an owner that I believe is Louis Delarmond, who actually came in town, started doing some cleanup on the property, vegetation and stuff, started removing roof shingles. And I believe he tried re-roofing it, and then he decided that it was too much work for him and left, and we haven't heard from him since. As far as pictures go, we have overgrown vegetation inside the house. Their floor is missing. Walls are the drywall, it's all just studs. I have outside walls that have holes going to indoor of the building. Animals, they're going in and out of it. And the main factor of tearing this property down is that it's right across the street from Ridgeland Park. So we have children that are playing directly 100 feet from the house, and we don't want to see anybody get hurt and play in the building or whatever the case may be. As far as history, 9/15 of 2016, we took photo documentation of the house being vacant. 11/16, photo documentation taking the house being vacant. 11/16, vacant property registration sent to Acres Investments LLC. 8/17, order repair sent to Louis Delamron. 4/18, photos taken of property owner at the time, cut the vegetation down, cleaned up around the yard. 1/21, photo documentation taken of property. 1/21, vacant property registration sent to Louis again, Delamron. 8/11/22, order to demolish was sent. As far as publications, notice a hearing on order to demolish unsafe building was published October 14th, 2022 to the LaPorte LaPorte County Herald Dispatch. And you have also the affidavit of publication in your packet. So with that being said, I'm seeking a matter to affirm the order to have 614 Ridgeland Avenue demolished as well.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the board?
None here, Madam Chair.
Then I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the demolition order for 614 Ridgeland Avenue.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. I'll note for the record that the board will be rendering a written opinion in this matter, and it will be affirming both orders for this and for the previous one at 422 Main Street.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda will be the payroll docket, October 21st, 2022, city payroll of $637,565.64, and November 4th, 2022, city payroll of $649,916.38. The claims docket of November 7th, 2022, municipal claims of $1,650,325,000. I'm sorry, $1,650,325.33. Health and Life Insurance Fund for $451,990.39. Special Events Fund $7,090.92. Workers' Comp Trust EFT $57,060.22. Total claims docket for $2,166,466.86. Do I have a motion to approve both the claims docket and the payroll docket?
I'll make a motion to approve as read payroll and claims dockets.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is the pending items list. The first item on the pending items list is the matter concerning the hearing that we had at our last meeting regarding the sanitation or regarding the citation for violation of the Michigan City weed and grass provisions of section 102-1 of the Michigan City Municipal Code, filed by the Vector Control Department on parcel number 4601-251-800000022. And that is in the matter of Brett and Tisdale and CYB Real Estate LLC. Is the board ready to render its decision at this time?
I am, Master.
Okay, yes. Do I have a motion to either affirm or deny or amend the order?
I would like to make a comment with my motion that driving by this property several times en route for back and forth to town from my home. This property is bounded on one side by a street, on two other sides by wooded, what appears to be vacant lands, and on the third side by a well-manicured home is used as a rental. The parcel that we are ruling on today, quite frankly, I'm looking forward to see what kind of vegetation and flowers and wildlife, butterflies and the like appear on that in the spring. So I don't feel like this is a neglected piece of property. I feel like this is a piece of property that somebody is trying to beautify. So my motion would be to deny the code enforcement.
Do I have a second? Motion fails for lack of a second. I make a motion to render this decision that the parties are in violation of section 102-1 of the Michigan City Code, Municipal Code, and to affirm the order.
I'll support that motion.
I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Nay.
Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is Kathy Stransky, 223 East Barker Avenue, who is requesting a street light. Brad.
Good morning, board. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineers. Just received an update a few minutes ago from NIPSCO. The expectation is that this streetlight will be installed possibly tomorrow, no later than Wednesday of this week. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Once it's complete, I'll update the board.
Okay. We'll leave this on the pending items list then.
Yes, please.
Next item on the agenda is the matter of Daniel Radke, 508 East 2nd Street, requesting a street enhancement. Brad, can you bring us up to date on this?
Yes, I had opportunity to speak to Steve Stanford at the Sanitary District about this shortly after the meeting in early October, and he's agreed to add it to his list of projects. Unfortunately, that list is going to carry him through the end of next year. So Mr. Radke's request for the 2nd Street street improvement would go onto that list with expectation that that would be completed when those other projects ahead of it are done. So at this point, also I communicated that with Dan shortly after talking to Steve about it. So at this point, I would ask that it be removed from the pending items list. I can set a reminder for myself to follow up with Steve Stanford at Michigan City Sanitary District, probably 3rd quarter next year, to see how he's progressing through his list.
Certainly. Do I have a motion to remove?
Mr. Mayor, you feel that this can be accomplished next year, though, after talking to Mr. Stanford?
He has 4 items already on his list, comparable in size, and he feels like he would be lucky to get through all 4 of those items, absent a grant next calendar year. So that's where we're at.
Thank you.
Another question. I've experienced these lists before with the sanitation district. That list is not written in concrete. This list moves, and what 4 projects he has slated now, there's no doubt in my mind that a 5th and 6th is going to pop up that seems to be more critical to the sanitation department than the 2nd Street project. So holding the sanitation district promise at hand, I would like to keep on the pending item list. If they're saying by 3rd quarter of next year, we can just revisit just so we don't lose sight of it.
Sure.
So your motion then would be to keep it on the pending items list and revisit, say, in October of 2023.
Quarterly.
Yes, so moved.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I was too busy talking.
Motion is to keep this on the pending items list and revisit it in October of 2023.
Support.
Okay. And I'll call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next item on the agenda is Tommy Kalavic, 1316 Ohio Street, was requesting restriping of Ohio Street from 11th to Garfield. And this was a matter that was going to be pending John Doyle's plans. We don't have John Doyle present. Brad, do you have any idea what's going on with this? If it's just been added to the plans or?
I do not have a further update aside from what John Doyle offered at our last meeting.
Okay. All right, well, I think we'll just leave this on the pending items list, see where we're going to shake out on this, okay? Next item on the agenda is Dave Vila, 3044 Ohio Street, was concerned with drainage issues in the 3rd Ward. And he was continuing to work with the sanitary district. Steve Stanford is no longer here, so we can't ask him. So I just suggest we just keep this on, see what happens next time, okay? Next item on the agenda is Councilman Don Prespolinski addressed the board concerning the purple lights on Franklin and Cleveland Avenue. At our last meeting, we learned that there was a contract that had been entered into by the city council, that the Board of Works was not a party to that contract. And therefore, because they are not a party to the contract, the Board of Works is precluded from becoming involved in that matter. And my motion would be to remove this from the pending items list and to refer it back to the city council and to their attorney for their resolution in this matter. Now, did you want to address the board with anything?
Just quickly, an update. Yes, we did have a meeting with the senior project manager. The mayor was also involved in that, along with Mr. Przyblinski from ESG Systems, and he is looking into the manufacturer's warranty. So that is being addressed now between Mr. Harris and Miss LePage to see if there's a resolve that can be done.
Okay, so we're going to bump this back to the city council.
Support.
Second.
Okay, call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Brad Minnick, Premier Engineering Limited, is requesting a fee proposal for Woodland Avenue. Brad.
Okay. I am waiting on a quote from a subconsultant in an effort to put together the most cost-effective package for the city. And I would just simply ask that I could give an update at the next meeting on November 21st.
Thank you. Leave this on the pending items list. Last item on the pending items list is Rodney McCormick's request for cameras and security lights in the neighborhoods of 11th, 10th, and York Streets. And we kept this on the pending items list because we're waiting to see what the Flock Raven placement of the equipment will be. So let's just leave it on there as well. Okay. The last item we have already taken care of. That was Carrie McGinty's request to purchase city-owned property, and we awarded the bid to her earlier in the meeting. So we're done with that one. That concludes the business portion of this meeting. And let me address what public comment is. A reminder that public comment section of this agenda is reserved for matters that do not require board action. Any matter requiring board action will not be discussed under the public comments section of the board meetings. All matters that require board action must be placed on the agenda using the forms and procedures available at the clerk's office. And note that public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Comments are to be addressed to the board president, not to individual board members. And all comments must be germane to and within the mandates of the authority of this board. And why don't you go ahead and identify yourself?
Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I just want to report, last Thursday, I had some guy come knocking on my door. He wanted to give me a home inspection. There's no go and soliciting door to door in the city unless you come in front of this board, Board of Works, and get a permit. It's real simple as that. I didn't even have the name of the city listed on the side of his truck. He had a big fancy graphic wrap truck. I told him to go take a hike, get out of the city. It's by ordinance. If anybody does, the contractors that do plumbing, HVAC, and electrical work, they're required to have the name of their business, the name of their city, and their phone number listed on the side of each side of their vehicles. I'm happy to see we got a couple orders to demolish on the agenda for the board again. I know that house on Ridgeland, that my sister-in-law Tiny lived right next door. That's where she raised her two children. Yeah, that needs to be definitely needs to go. I just want to wish all the veterans and Mayor Perry a happy Veterans Day on Friday. I'm looking forward to attending your ceremony at Greenwood and Greenwood Cemetery and Swan Lake Memorial Gardens for your dedication of the Veterans Memorial for all the money that was raised for your golf outing. I just appreciate you and thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Klavik.
Are there any other public comments? Then do I have any board comments?
None here, Madam Chair.
No, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mayor Perry.
Aye.
Mr. Vincent.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. We are in adjournment.